Hello, Ellie here from Thankful Flow Yoga. Thank you for joining me for day 22 of 30 days of yoga. So today we are going to be doing a kind of power vinyasa flow. There are going to be options for all levels in here. So just taking the option that works for you. If you're not feeling for a kind of more of a workout style power flow today, then definitely check out day 20 or day 21, sorry, where I did a really juicy full body stretch. So that might be a nice one to look at if that's what you're feeling. But as always, important to say that yoga is, it's not so much of a workout, it is more of a work in, but we can of course honor and combine both and bring that together, connecting our body and mind. So, enough of the talking. We'll come into our standing position to start the class. So we're going to let the arms come to the side of the body and either closing the eyes or taking a steady gaze. And connecting with some slow, soft breaths, seeing if you can breathe into the belly. Seeing if you can feel your rib cage expand with your breath. Notice the connection between your feet and the ground beneath you. Perhaps observing any sensations that you can feel within the body, or maybe noticing just how the body's feeling today. What do you need today? What is your body letting you know? So opening the eyes back up now if you had them closed. And we're going to inhale, roll the shoulders back and start to fold forwards, bending through the legs. So coming into a nice forward fold. Hanging down here, you can have the hands just hanging or you can take the hands to the elbows. Seeing if you can bend into one leg, then the other. Maybe shifting a little bit of weight forwards into the mounds of the big toes. Just starting to open into the back of the legs. Releasing the hands if you had them on the elbows. Inhale, draw the belly in, curl the body up with a rounded spine. Inhale, lifting the head, opening across the chest, folding forwards again. From here, slowly curling the body back up again with a rounded spine. Opening across the chest, folding forwards. And last one, curling the body up. Then once you're here, take that big shoulder roll. Let the shoulder blades run down your back. Now we're going to step the feet out. Bring the feet to roughly slightly further than hip width apart and point the toes out towards the corners of the mat. Bring your hands into heart center. So we're going to come through some Malasana squats now, back up to standing. Now what I want you to do is just really reduce the range of movement or adapt your Malasana squat to what feels right for you. As we know, it's quite strong on the ankles and the knees. So just adjust this movement, this squat, making it, you could stay up higher in the squat if you need to. So we're going to inhale here, exhale, coming down to Malasana or in that direction. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, down for 2. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, down for 3. Keep that space across the chest. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, down for 4. Well done. Inhale, come back up. Last one. Exhale, come down for 5. And I want you to hold it here in your Malasana. Bring the right fingertips to the ground. Sweep the left fingertips up. Find a little twisty stretch here. hands come back to heart center. Over to the other side, left hand comes down, right hand sweeps up. Back to center. And then from here, depending on where you're facing, you might need to twizzle around. You're going to walk your hands out and find a downward facing dog. So yes, getting straight into it today. Let's take a little pedal out through the feet in your downward facing dog. And just remembering that you can take a child's pose or a resting pose at any time you need to in your practice. Always, always listening to your body and how it feels, thinking about what's going to serve you in this practice today. Okay. So from here, on our inhale, we're going to bring the shoulders above the wrists and drop the knees so that they're hovering off the mat. As we exhale, push the hips back to downward facing dog, lengthening the legs. So 4 more of these. Inhale, knees drop down, hovering, using that core. Exhale, hips back to downward dog. Press the mat away with your hands. Hover the knees down above the mat. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. 2 more. Inhale, shift forward, hover the knees. Exhale, back to downward facing dog, saying hello to your quads and your legs. Inhale, hover, last one. Pause here, breathing. Make sure that you keep breathing. Feeling that fire. Well done. Exhale, back to your downward facing dog. Take an inhale through the nose, exhale, release out through the mouth. Well done. Step or walk the feet in towards the hands. Bring the hands to the hips. Inhale, lift the chest. So coming to Tadasana Mountain Pose. Come through our Surya Namaskar A. So inhale, reach the fingertips up. Lift your ribs away from the hips. Exhale, hinge from the hips, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift the chest, lengthen the spine, halfway lift. Exhale, hands come down to the mat, step, or you can jump the feet back, depending on what works for you. Moving through your Chaturanga, so inhaling into either an upward facing dog or cobra. And exhaling back to your downward facing dog. Pausing and breathing here, taking a child's pose if you need to. Keep lifting the hips away from the ribs. Inhale, gaze comes between the hands, step or jump feet in. Lift the chest, lengthen the spine, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the fingertips up, grow the spine tall. Exhale, hands float through to heart center. Moving into our Surya Namaskar, actually coming through another sun salutation A. So inhale, reaching the fingertips up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift the chest, make space, lengthen the spine. Exhale, hands come down to the mat, step or jump the feet back. Move through your Chaturanga, inhaling, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhaling back to your downward facing dog. Taking a breath here, sending the gaze between the knees. Inhale, look between the hands, step or jump the feet back in. Lift the chest, lengthen the spine, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, reach the fingertips back up. Exhale, hands through to heart center. Scar B, inhale, sit the hips back, find your Utkatasana, your chair pose. Belly's drawing away from the thighs. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the legs as much as you need to. Inhale, lift the chest, lengthen the spine, halfway lift. Exhale, hands come down to the mat, step or jump the feet back, float through your chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhaling back to your downward facing dog. Breathing here, reconnecting with your breath. Inhale, we sweep the right leg up, so finding three-leg dogs, option to open into the hips here, but you don't have to. You could just be hovering that foot away or just staying in your normal downward dog as an option as well. Remembering to modify, take what you need from the practice. Right elbow, right knee comes to tap the right elbow. Bring it over to tap the left elbow. Then step it through between the hands. Reach the fingertips up, find your high lunge. Option to take Kali Mudra with the hands, so interlacing the fingers, but with the index fingers staying long. So we're going to take some dips here for 5. So inhale here, exhale, dip the left knee down, hovering, and back up. 1, dip it back down, and back up. 2, dip it back down, hovering off the mat, and back up. 3, taking it down for 4, coming back up, and for 5, coming back up, meeting in your high lunge. Well done. And then bring your hands to heart center. We're going to power into this right leg for some blocks. Okay, so that could be a really nice option. So we're going to take some dips with this right leg now in our warrior 3. So we're going to take 5. So bending through the right leg, pushing back through for 1. Bending for 2. And for 3. And for 4. Well done. And for 5. Holding in your warrior 3. And float the hands down to the mat, step it back to plank. Well done. Feeling that into the glutes and the legs. And float through your chaturanga. Inhaling into that upward facing dog or cobra. And exhaling back to your downward facing dog. Reconnecting with your breath. Checking in with the body here. Just being aware if you need to take a break or a rest. Really remembering that we're listening to the body, being kind to the body here. Just taking what you need on any given day, knowing it's going to be different from another day, another week, and that's okay. Inhale, sweep the left leg up, find your 3-leg dog. Option to open into the hip. Float this leg through, bring the left knee to the left elbow. Bring it over to the right elbow. Step the left foot through between the hands. Reach the fingertips up, find your high lunge. Option to take Kali Mudra with the hands. Really lifting up and out from the waist. Now we're going to take our dips. But again, if you're finding that you want to modify here, what you can do is you could hold your high lunge and not take the dips. You could hold your warrior 3 and not take the dips. So just think about what's going to serve you. So if you're taking the dips, we're going to go for 5. So dropping that back knee down for 1. And back up. 2. And back up. 3. And back up. 4. And back up. 5. And back up. Well done. Now see if you can power into the left leg. Find warrior three. Hands could come to blocks here. We'll take the 5 dips on this left leg now. So bending through the left leg for 1, and back up, 2, and back up, feeling that heat in the body, 3, and back up, 4, and up, last one, well done, 5, and back up, holding here, breathing, and bring the hands down, step it back to plank, and come through your chaturanga, inhaling, upward facing dog or cobra, and exhaling back to downward facing dog. Take an inhale through the nose, exhale out through the mouth, letting that go. Notice the energy, the heat in the body, feeling that fire. Inhale, send your gaze between the hands, step or jump the feet in. Lift the chest, lengthen the spine, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift the chest and lengthen the spine. Find your Utkatasana, sitting the hips back for our chair pose. And exhale, hands come back to heart center. Inhale, reach the fingertips back up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift the chest, lengthen the spine, halfway lift. Exhale, bring the hands down to the mat, step or jump it back to plank. Inhale, come through into your upward facing dog or cobra. Well done for staying with me. And exhale, we float back to downward facing dog. Remembering to take a child's pose if you need to. So we're going to bring our right leg through, and I want you to bring your right knee to tap the right elbow. Bring it over to tap the left elbow. And then we're going to bring the right knee down to the outside of that right wrist. And we're going to come into, see if you can come into an active pigeon. So I've not sunk my hips down to the floor. I'm lifting up, the left toes are tucked under. See if you can reach your hands up to the ceiling. So in this active pigeon position here. I know this is a strong place to be. You can come straight down into your usual pigeon if that works for you. Just taking one more breath here if you're in your active version. And then lowering down to find arcing pigeon pose on the right side. Now if pigeon doesn't work for you, if you've got a lot of space here, you can fill in that space with support using bolster, blocks, cushions. If it really doesn't work for you, you can come into your lying pigeon, which is hooking that right leg, threading the hands through and working here, okay? Just take the option that feels right for you. Breathing, so hips are shining forwards. And as we exhale, folding over, letting the head drop down. One more breath here. Then we'll walk the hands back in, grounding the hands into the mat. Tuck the back toes under and take it back to your downward facing dog. And ready to move on to the other side. So left knee comes in and taps the left elbow. Take it over to tap the right elbow. Bring the left knee to the outside of the left wrist. see if you can come into your active pigeon. So we're lifting, reaching the hands up, keeping that back leg nice and active, lifting up and out from the pelvis. Make sure that you're not holding the breath. Well done. And we'll sink down into our normal pigeon now, king pigeon. I've lost track of all the pigeons, but you can see what I'm doing. So you can use your blocks here again to support you, or take the lying pigeon version. And then we're going to exhale, fold down over that front leg. You can let the head drop. Taking just a moment here to breathe, to maybe observe any thoughts passing through the thinking mind. And just having maybe some gratitude here for yourself for showing up for this practice today. For being here on your mat in this present moment. One more breath here. And we're going to walk the hands back in, tuck the back toes under, press it back to meet in a downward facing dog. Doesn't matter how you get there. Take a couple of breaths here in your downward dog. Then we're going to drop the knees down to the mat. Sit the hips down. Bring the feet roughly hip width apart. You can start with the hands behind the thighs. Roll the shoulders back, make space across the chest, and then draw the belly in, engage the core. And we're going to lift the feet away from the mat, finding our Navasana boat pose. Either keep the hands behind the thighs for support or bring them to the side of the body. And we're going to inhale, reach this right arm out to the side. Take it back in. Reach the left arm out to the side. Take it back in. Reach the right arm out to the side. Bring it back in. Reach the left arm out to the side. Bring it back in. Reach both arms out. If you have space, bring them back in. Lower down to a dome shape. Come back to Navasana. Lower down to your dome shape again for 2. Back to Navasana. Lower down for the dome shape for 3. Back to Navasana. Lower down for 4. Well done for staying with me. Back to Navasana. Last one, 5. Pausing here, breathing. Maybe you can reach the arms up above the head as well. Just an option. And back to Navasana. And release the feet down. Well done. You've done amazing. Take a big hug, one of my favorites. Wrap the arms around the legs. Drop the forehead down towards the chest. Close the eyes if that feels good too. And again, just having a bit of gratitude towards yourself for doing this practice. Building that energy within the body, showing up. And opening the eyes, lifting the head when you're ready. Just coming to a comfortable seated position on your mat. Got some interesting light coming through into my room right now, but I kind of like it. It's kind of nice. So thank you so much for joining me for that flow. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you want a nice stretch to do next, then, and you haven't done it already, then day 21, I've done a full body stretch on there. And I've also, on day 20, I think it is, a really lovely guided meditation. So you could check either of those out now if you want to. But yeah, can't wait to see you again for another flow. If you enjoyed this, do subscribe to this channel. It's completely free. Check out the links below to all the other things that I offer. And yes, comment, feedback to me. Tell me how you're getting on. I love to hear from you. Take care and see you for another flow very soon. Bye bye.